Welcome to Wicked Shizuku's Reviews, bringing you a southern perspective on books, movies, music, and much, much more. Stick around for a while, you just might hear something wicked. And hello again, and welcome to episode 55 of Wicked Shizuku's Reviews Reads. This is a Friday read, so I will be continuing on with the new book of Etiquette. And if you're new here, please rewind in the playlist to be able to listen from the very beginning of these reads. Carrying on, we are going to be going into chapter 4. The little courtesies of daily life. The true aim of etiquette. The final test of breeding is not whether you can give a formal dinner or make a correct introduction, but whether you can mingle comfortably and pleasantly with other people. Etiquette, in its truer sense, is concerned with those rules of the game of life, which make it easier and simpler for us to mingle with one another. The primary and fundamental rule is a regard for the rights and the feelings of others. Arnold Bennett says, "I cannot too strongly insist that the basis of convention is a symbolism, primarily meant to display a regard for the feelings of other people. The conventions that etiquette requires us to observe are, to use a familiar term, the survival of the fittest. They are the rules and regulations that have been tested by one generation after another and found good. They are sane, sensible rules of conduct that save us time, prevent misunderstandings, and make social contact more smooth and comfortable. An infallible indication of well-bred people is the desire to be liked, and no man or woman is liked who is constantly treading upon the established conventions, who is discourteous, who says and does things that are painful or disagreeable to others. We are living in a world where we cannot be blind to those around us. We have a social duty, even to the strangers we meet. People are quick to recognize courtesy and eager to respond to it. A pleasant face and a courteous manner are excellent protection against the discourtesies and the rudenesses of other people. Observe the rules of courtesy, and you will find yourself progressing easily and happily through the world, making friends wherever you go." What is politeness? One of the first rules of courteous observance is to be polite. Many of us cherish a mistaken notion as to what politeness really is. John Wolcott Phelps says, "The essence of politeness consists of so conducting ourselves in word and manner that others may be pleased both with us and with themselves." That is an ideal definition. It sums up perfectly the real meaning of politeness. If a singer asks you about his voice and you tell him that you found it raspy and harsh, that is unkind and inconsiderate. If you tell him that you regard it as a clear and beautiful voice, that is sincere and untruthful. But if you tell him that you liked the nice, quiet way in which he finished, or the clear way in which he expressed his words, that is polite. If a door is open and there is a draft that annoys you, to rise and close the door is an ordinary, commonplace act. But if you are not even conscious of the draft and you rise to close the door because you notice that it is disturbing someone else in the room, that is an example of true politeness. and fine consideration for others. Politeness is actuated by a spirit of service and fellowship. The well-bred man is polite instinctively and with no thought of impressing others. He is as polite in the street, car, at business, or in his home as he is at the most formal and ceremonious function. Courtesy in the street. There are countless trifling tests of good manners that distinguish the well-bred in public. Dr. Frank Crane says, "Your manners are the printed page on which people read of what you are inside." In the street, think a little of others and try not to inconvenience anyone in any way. Never walk directly in front of an oncoming person, but move a little out of the way. Don't carry an umbrella or stick carelessly. Avoid getting into the way of people who are obviously hurrying to get somewhere. A man does not sandwich himself between two women when walking with them in the street. He takes the curb side of the pavement, whether he is walking with one woman or with several. While walking with a woman, a man does not link his arm in hers, grasp her by the elbow, nor offer her his arm, unless it is to guide her through a crowded street or protect her from traffic. Never call a person's name in public, if it can be avoided. In conversing, do not make personal remarks or expose your private affairs to passersby. Remember that all the well-bred person never attracts attention to himself. When greeting people in public, bear in mind that a quiet, unobtrusive manner shows good breeding. You can be cordial without making yourself conspicuous. Greet your intimate friends with a cheerful hello, but do not shout it so others turn around to see what has happened. Greet acquaintances with a courteous nod of recognition or a friendly "How do you do?" It is discourteous to stop on a busy thoroughfare to chat with someone you have met. If you meet an old friend with whom you would like to have a little talk, walk on with him slowly instead of standing and getting in other people's way. Perhaps a stranger accosts you in the street and asks for information. He may be looking for a certain street or number, or he may want to be directed to a certain store or office. If you cannot be of assistance to him, show by your manner that you are sorry, and be as courteous as you know how. Direct him, if possible, to someone who can give him the information he wants. If you can direct him, do not stop and attract attention by your gestures, but explain as simply and as clearly as possible what he wants to know. Walk on a bit with him and give your directions in the same tone of voice you would use for ordinary conversation. In time of accident, be courteous enough to keep out of the way unless you can be of service. The greatest test of good manners is to be able to keep calm and poised even under the most distracting circumstances. And that's where I'm going to leave off in this etiquette lesson tonight. So, if you found this educational, if you found it informative or entertaining, I would really like a like, subscribe, and a share. And if you have any questions, please put them down in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening and good night.